Hey Kelly, and welcome, or welcome back.
You want to know how to forage like a pro in 2025?
Stick around and we'll have a look, shall we? So, what we got, babe?
Well, wild onion.
Wild onion?
Yeah, all of these here, all these bobbles. Welcome to the wild onion. So, when these are first sprouting, these top bits, you'll find that they're slightly purpley. And these seeds, when they're nice and fresh, you're great for a salad. But you don't want to touch the bulb while they're like that because the bulb is still developing. So really, you want to wait until they go a bit crispy like this. Always a good idea to spread those seeds if you want to come back with some more foraging, huh? But the real deal is down here in the ground. So, gonna see if we can get this out. Now, thankfully, extracting these, you don't need to create too much damage because this isn't going to be a huge onion. It's more like the size of a spring onion usually. So there we go. They're like a little spring onion type thing, so they go great in salads. See that? As I've got one here, might as well put those seed heads in there. Pop that back over.
Ready for the next year, yeah?
Ready for the next year.
Awesome.
And just to show you what I mean by the size of them. So they'll always be about this sort of size, but of course, once you've peeled them and stuck them in your salad, they're just, they're quite a potent onion actually, aren't they?
Yeah, they're quite nice.
Quite nice and strong. So we'll keep these and collect some more.
Another good one I like, slowberries. And what I do, don't tell people, well, we're going to tell everyone, aren't we? What I do is I give them to people thinking or saying to them that they're blueberries and watch their mouth go. Slows, yeah, things like slow gin, stuff like that. I think you can make like jams out of them, can't you? Things like that. But yeah, also, get some. Also, these things are good for, I think they're good for roasting, but apart from slow gin, let us know down in the comments what you use them for.
Now this one is a pro forageable only. This is common comfrey. Now, ordinarily, common comfrey has white to pink flowers. The Russian comfrey, which is more medicinal than edible, it has the blue flowers. So yeah, the medicinal one has the blue to purple flowers. Now, the reason this is a pro forageable is because it can be easily mistaken for foxglove, particularly in its early stages of growth. Now there are a couple of things that you can look out for the common comfrey to separate it from that. And that's that on the leaves, there's not much serration on the edge of the leaves. Even on the bigger ones, they're quite smooth. Whereas foxglove will be quite serrated along the edges. Another little tip is foxglove has little white specks on the leaf as well. So that's another thing to look out for. There is a difference in the stem structure as well. But if I find a foxglove to compare it with, I'll show you. Otherwise, I'll stick a picture up here.
Obviously, this one here, wild fennel. Great, because Tara likes to do her curries. It's great for that. When it goes into seed, because at the moment it's still in flower. And if you're like me, medicinally, it's good for if you fart a lot and stink a lot. It helps to alleviate bloating and that gas, right? So yeah, another good one and can be found most places wild.
So introducing Queen Anne's lace, or also known as wild carrot. Ordinarily, I wouldn't show white umbels because, again, white umbels in this kind of setup, this is what a white umbel is, the flower tops. There's a lot of dangerous ones, so it's not something that I would ordinarily do, but there is a very good way of distinguishing this one. Now, I don't know if you can make it out, but every wild carrot umbel will have a little purple dot in the middle of the umbel.
Yep.
And another feature that they have, which is where they get their name from Queen Anne's lace, is because of these lacy type leaves and this setup here. The trick to this plant is, once you've identified it, you should wait for these flowers to die back before the root will be any use. Now, I believe it's either the first year or the second, I think it might be the second year, I will check into that, of its biannual growth is when the root will be ready. Now, if it's the wrong type of year, the root will be quite woody and fibrous. It's not really much cop. But the trick to doing this is, once you've found them, you can either tie something to the bottom of it, which is a little way of identifying it once it's died back a little, because once these flowers have disappeared, it's really hard to find it again. And of course you want to be able to find it once the flowers have disappeared, because that's the chance of getting a carrot out of it.
Pause the video here to give thanks to you. Thank you ever so much to all the Buy Us a Coffee lot. And yeah, if you are a fan of the outdoors, seasoned and unseasoned, smash that subscribe button, like, share around. And if you are interested in foraging and you would like a course by us, do send us an email. Link is in the description, and let's get back into it, shall we?
Let's do it.
So this one here, another one I like to use, Mugwort. Tara says it smells herby. I don't know. As you know, I've got no sense of smell with things like these anyway. But they can be used in soups, stews, stuffings. So I would say like a sagey maybe. Who knows? But the reason I like it is because it's traditionally used in medicines as well. But also, it's a very good dream enhancer. So it can be smoked, drank, all sorts of things. Mugwort, really good one.
So identifying mugwort, fairly easy really. It has these weird little spindly leaves, but also it's like a dull green on one side, and you see this silver that's coming through on the back. Now these mugwort plants are quite far advanced in their growth because they're already getting to seedy stage, and their leaves are wilting somewhat, shall we say, because of the heat. But when it's in its heyday, they'll be a lot more flatter than this, you know, but still just as good. Dry it out if you like, hang it upside down, it makes a great herb. Of course, the most important thing of identifying this one is crushing the leaves and smelling it, because it smells very herby. You'll know exactly what I mean when you crush it. Well, what would you know? On the roadside, chicken of the woods, just growing here. It's a small one, but if we don't get it now, it will go past it, because you can already see it's dulling in colour. Usually these are quite sulphurous yellow, but we'll have a look at the underneath. So usually this yellow is much more sulphurous. It's much brighter than that. So this is how we know that this one's probably best to be picked now, because otherwise it's just going to, well, mould away really. So I've not gone too mad. I've left the stem there because I do want to encourage regrowth if we can, although these do tend to come back biannually. But we'll just give it a little pat. And then let it work its magic. Obviously we have blackberries. I think if most people know what to do with blackberries, right? We, however, are going to make an apple and blackberry crumble, because we've got the use of a friend's oven today. So I've got the little apples.
Some crab apples, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're still quite small, but to be honest, once we've mulched them down with some sugar, I shouldn't think it's going to matter anyway.
There's some good medicinal values to crab apples as well. So always worth a look into that. Make sure you do your own research and be safe, obviously.
For those of you who don't know, I'll let you into a little secret. You'll know if the blackberries you're picking have any little worms, maggots in them, because this little green bit here will be bleeding. They tend to go in through the centre stem. So if it's bleeding when you pick it in that centre and it's not just green, it's probably a little bug in there. Okay, so as you'll see, this one isn't green in the middle, and pretty sure we just saw a little worm there. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. But ordinarily, I mean, this little worm's been working on this berry for a while. Ordinarily, when they first make their incision into the stem of the berry, you'll see it's got a little, like it's bleeding the berry juice through the stem. Garlic mustard, also known as Jack by the Hedge. It's got serrated leaves. It can grow quite tall and get little flowers on them. The flowers are just as tasty as the rest of the plant. Personally, I think it always works better when the leaves are young in a salad, because they add a nice little kick to a salad. They're quite spicy. Well, the clue is in the title, garlic mustard, really, isn't it? It's exactly what it tastes like. But a good way to identify it, again, like most things that are garlicky or oniony, just give it a good crush, and that's exactly what you're going to smell, like a garlicky, mustardy type smell. It's very addictive, actually, that smell. I love it. Also great to add towards the end of cooking in soups and stews. So if you're really lucky, you can find these currants. They call this the red flowering currant, but the currants are actually quite purple. But there's not too many currants on this one, so we'll have to be slim pickings if we take some. I think we might leave them so that the bush can do its thing, because it's towards the end of the year, so the currants are probably a little bit ropey.
Most of this will be from the birds and people chucking their rubbish over their fences and things like that. Always a good place to...
Tastes very nice.
So Cully, if you have enjoyed this video, do share it around with your friends. It's pro, mediate, beginner, lots of bits and bobs. If you do want a foraging course, because obviously we can teach you a lot more within that, do send us an email like we've already said. And remember, always do your own research. Make sure that when you are doing it, that you check and check and check at least. But they're pretty easy. There's not many lookalikes apart from the comfrey. So yes, until next time, happy hopping. There's size and nuts on that one. Now he is the ball.
Swing low.
Look at the nuts on that swinger. Oh my goodness. Puts everyone to shame. Wow, man. Oh, he knows that smells good.
Oh, these girls are beautiful.